Support for Sportspage is provided by the University Store. The University Store is the official headquarters for Mules and Jenny's emblem clothing, gifts, and UCM memorabilia. Books, office supplies, art supplies, and more are available at the University Store, located on the lower floor of the Elliott Union on the UCM campus in Warrensburg. And promotional support for Sportspage is provided by 1450 Cocoa, 98.5 The Bar, and WarrensburgRadio.com. 1450 Cocoa, 98.5 The Bar, and WarrensburgRadio.com, the radio home of UCM Athletics. Straight ahead on the Central Missouri Sports Page, Mules football coach Jim Sabota joins us in studio. We'll also visit with Jenny's golf coach Chris Port on this week's show. In our Sports Page Spotlights, we'll meet Mules senior cornerback and defensive captain Paul Hughes and the top player on the Jenny's golf team, freshman Kelly Walker. All of that, plus a look at a great week of competition for 4 nationally ranked UCM fall sports teams, is coming up over the course of the next hour right here on the Central Missouri Sports Page. Warm greetings and thanks for watching the University of Central Missouri Sports Page. I'm Sean Jones, and joining me to kick off the show is Mules football coach Jim Sabota. Coach Sabota, welcome back to the show.
Hi, Sean. Thanks.
Well, we talked on the postgame show on Saturday. The bottom line, I know from that game against Southern, you give up that many rushing yards, score that few points, not going to be able to win in this league.
It's really tough. Yeah, it's really tough, and they did. They executed their game plan. I'm not a big fan of the control the time of possession deal, but they certainly demonstrated how you can do it and be successful. And we had our opportunities. We just this game is about scoring points, and 14 is not going to cut it. And
they're one of those styles that no one runs anymore, that triple option, and they let the play clock run down to 2. They'd sit there for 38 seconds. Your team had the ball 7 minutes and 43 seconds in the second half. In talking up in the radio booth, I thought your second half effort was really good as a team, but in some regard, it was too late.
It was, and we still had an opportunity at the end there. Again, we've demonstrated several times this year how we can play in the second half. Clearly, we still probably have the points advantage in the second half, and so we're still fighting that battle a little bit. But there's a lot of good signs. I mean, we're taking care of the football. The kids are playing hard. They're answering. It's just that right down at the end thing that we still have to push through.
Some of the key stats that you guys have been good in didn't change in this game because in some regards it was such an anomaly. Time of possession 41-30 to 18-30 in the contest. And again, Southern did a great job executing their game plan, but you're still the best team in the league in red zone offense, red zone defense, and you've still only allowed 7 points in the fourth quarter the last 3 weeks, which are good signs heading into another tough one this week.
Yeah, and those are the things you got to point out to your team. Right now, I think the issue is if we get caught up with our record right now, then we're going to have issues. So it's a self-esteem thing, and that's why you got to point out there's way more positives. And in a lot of ways, we've played better football this year than we have in the last 2 years. Our record's just not reflecting it.
And last Saturday started out in pretty solid fashion for the Mules. You got a fourth down stop of Southern and converted on fourth down, marched down the field with a drive. So that's another thing that continued on Saturday. You have started games well. Right,
and you like to do that and build upon it like we did the 2 previous weeks. But they did a good job of moving the ball down the field. And when you can move it with the consistency and the length of the drives and so forth and end up with a score, that makes it tough on you.
Well, let's look back at the highlights. The Mules and Missouri Southern from Fred Hughes Stadium in Joplin. Another road night game. I'm glad those are over with. The opponent has an opportunity to play when they want, Coach, but back-to-back road night games, I'm ready to be back at Walton Stadium.
Yeah, we are too.
And we see the Mules on the move. There's Sean Gorman out of the backfield. Nice play call, nice catch, nice drive for the Mules. 5 plays, 69 yards, and take the lead.
Yeah, that's a good way to start off.
Seeing Gorman a lot. You're really using him a lot out of the fullback spot.
Yeah, he's a tough kid. Good blocker, good receiver out of the backfield.
Here we see the triple option attack. We see some good tackling early in this game. I'm going to be honest, though, Coach. See right there a big gap. I don't think the tackling was as good as it has been for this team
on Saturday.
Yeah, and you just get one guy out of position. That's the result right there. You get a big play against you.
And Jay McDowell, the quarterback for Southern, really had an outstanding football game. He was the MIAA Offensive Player of the Week. Kind of countered himself there, went back against the grain and scored. And Southern goes 5 plays, 80 yards, ties the game at 7. That's at the 6:52 mark of the first quarter. We thought we may have a shootout on our hands, but that was not the case. There you see it right there. A lot of stripping for the ball, but not a lot of tackling, and that was probably an extra 12 yards because of that.
Yeah, and that was a play that we had a hard time defending, that wide pitch.
There's J.J. Jones' 2-yard run. The extra point was good. That was an 11-play, 80-yard drive, and Southern had the 14-7 lead. The Mules struggling on offense here at this point, so Southern's going to get the football back and march it down the field. You know, as we talk about our offense, just 2 of 12 on third down in this game, and that has been a superlative for your offense, but struggled on third down in this contest.
Yeah, they had a good defensive game plan too, and got us out of our rhythm and got us throwing the ball probably more than I should have, and they had good blitz package for us.
So it's 21-7, Southern 7:11 to go in the first half, and there you see another big run for McDowell, the quarterback for Southern. He ends up with over 225 rushing yards in the ball game, and a big run there. I thought a lot of times, Coach, and you have to pick your poison as you see a muddled field goal attempt there from Southern or extra point. I thought that we did a good job on the dive back, pretty decent job on the pitch man, but the quarterback just kind of ran free.
Yeah, and it's all about those 3 things, and you miss one, and that's the result. And you know, it's a tough offense to get ready for in a week. They did a good job.
It is, and again, you want to give full credit to Southern. I thought they had a great game plan and executed very well, and it's a different style on purpose, and they did a great job with it in, again, time of possession and rushing yards and the way that they managed the clock and kept the Mules' potent offense off the field. We're getting a dose here as the Mules are down in the fourth quarter of Ray Harris. That was Ron Ree and Ray on this drive, and there you see Ray with his first touchdown catch, the freshman from Fort Zumwalt West, and after a Ricky Spratley strip and takeaway, Mules go 40 yards and score. We got a ball game.
Yeah, it was a great answer right there to the takeaway, and another good sign for this team, really.
And so Southern gets back out there. Now it's a touchdown lead for Southern. How about this interception? We're going to get to see it twice. Zach Lineball taking it off the turf, off the knee or foot of the Southern receiver, and the Mules late in this football game are going to have another shot. Watch it in slow motion. Great hands. Lineball, his second career pick.
Yeah, he's a good little ball player, does a lot of different things for us, and will continue to do so.
So the Mules had a chance, weren't able to get it done. You punted back to Southern, wanting the defense to get a stop so you could have the field position advantage down the stretch, but that play, really, that quarterback run was the big one.
Yeah, 3rd and long. We had them right where we wanted them, 3rd and long, and you know, they converted, and in retrospect, you know, it's 4th and 10, probably should have gone for it.
You know, I knew what you were thinking, though. You had 3 timeouts.
We had 3 timeouts. There was, you know, 2 or 3 minutes, 3 minutes maybe in the game, and I thought we had a good chance to get, you know, better field position and you know, finish out the game, at least get it to overtime.
There you see the final numbers. Mules fall on a tough one to Southern, 21-14 in Joplin. Sophomore linebacker Ricky Spratley had a great game, 14 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery. Senior Zach Lineball had an outstanding game, or the junior rather. You saw that there. And Zach Gebhardt, the senior kicker from Archie, also rock solid. He came in to punt, did a great job. Solid in the kicking game. Mules 2-3 now overall. 1-3 in the MIAA. Jim, you've talked a lot about the character of this football team, the quality of the young men, and you've said that to me off camera. I know it's true. I know you really believe in these guys. That character's not tested when you're 5-0. It is when you're 2-3. So we're going to learn a lot more about these young men.
We will, and you know, they've bounced back. It's all about the bounce back, and like I said, you can get caught up in what your record is, or you can you know, just flush it and say, you know, we got another big game, another opportunity. We love to play this game. We're going to play it one way. That's the right way, all out. They've done that. They've fallen short, and it's all about picking yourself back up. And that's the way it is in football and life.
I don't think I've ever done a show in 14-plus years here where I've talked to a coach after a loss where they didn't say on camera that the team was having a great week of preparation. I think sometimes people have a hard time understanding how hard that is to give 100% after such a devastating loss. You told me off camera, you've told me this week how committed, how good the guys have been in practice.
Yeah, and we did some things as a staff, you know, to kind of keep them busy, and you know, we've changed some things up, and and challenge them a little bit. And so, that helps. But their energy was there. I think we really got good leadership. And, from the outside looking in, you'd say, well, if all these things are true, then you would be 5-0. But, that's how it goes. We're in a tough league. We've played the toughest schedule to this point. We accept that. We make no excuses. But we'll get better.
And one thing you have to do, I know, is remind yourself and remind your players this is fun. We do this because it's fun. We don't have to do this. It's a joy to go out there and play football.
No question about it. From my standpoint, I know that, I know how big the event is, the football game for the city of Warrensburg. From my standpoint, you want to put a great product on the field, and I think we have, and we'll continue to do so. But that's tough for me too, because how many people are rooting for you. They want to see you win, and they're continuing to support us. And all I can tell you is that the horizon's bright.
If it was easy, everybody would do it.
Right.
It'd be pretty fun to wear sweatpants to work every day, but it's hard. One thing I always tell fans, I've said this for years, it's just something that's stuck with me. It's easy to look at yourself. It's easy to just look at your team that you care about. We all love the Mules watching this show, but you have to remember that other team that we're playing, regardless of sport, they've got a you, they've got a me, they've got a you. They want to win just as badly. It's tough, especially in this league. It's tough.
They do, and but it's incumbent upon me as the coach and our coaching staff to put our kids in the best position to be successful. I think we have to shoulder that as coaches, figure it out, get them over the hump. I think the want-to's there. I think the talent's there, and we're going to keep swinging.
One thing we all like to see associated with this program for our kids, we call them our kids, our student athletes, we'd like to see a signature win, and they've got a chance for that on Saturday.
They do, and they recognize that. And like I said, based on what I've seen so far, I'd be real surprised if they don't come out and ready to play and fired up.
Pitt State, good team, ranked 10th in the country, well coached. Tim Beck, I know you have a lot of respect for him, does a great job. They've got massive offensive numbers. Our opponents are 6-25. Theirs are 7-24. But you have to put the asterisk by it when you talk about them, because they're leading the league in scoring, total offense, and several defensive categories. Very explosive football team.
Yeah, I mean, you can say what you want about schedules and so forth, but they're absolutely doing what they need to do to be successful against the opponents they played, and they have a lot of returners. Their quarterback is a sharp kid and makes good decisions and runs the ball well and distributes it, and they're salty on defense. So, it's a good football team. You wouldn't expect anything less out of Pittsburgh State. Out
of their camp, I've heard they think this is an awfully good Mules football team, too, a well-coached one. How'd you like to be in their shoes, coming in here to Warrensburg, facing a team that's hungry, that's 2-3, trying to get your kids ready to play that team that's got an awful lot of talent? Could be a fun Saturday. We know it'll be a challenge, big opportunity. But it's going to be a lot of fun to try it.
It will be, but here's the bottom line. I mean, we could have won every game we played so far, and I don't perceive this as being any different for our kids. If they play well and if they get in that position with 2 or 3 minutes to go and push through it, that'll make it a signature for us.
And that's a great point. If you were 2-3 and the losses have been by an average of 28 points, we'd maybe be having different feelings, different conversations. We've got a young team, 97 high school kids in the program, major culture shift, and the quality of the guys, I could tell you, if I could tell you some things on camera, but have privacy things I can't. Just character's outstanding of this football team, and academically doing the right things, and we're real close. We're real close to being a really good program, really good team. It's right there.
We feel that way, and it's a formula that we're going to use. I don't know another formula. We're going to build this thing for the long haul, and have teams that we can look down the road and feel confident about, and we've got some new facilities to be proud of, and so the whole thing is coming together in my mind. It's just not quite as fast as you'd like it.
And as I mentioned, nice to be back at home. Boy, I tell you, we had a couple long trips, a couple of tough ones on the road, a victory in Kirksville, loss at Joplin, night games on the road. We like playing games in the afternoon, college football on a Saturday in the fall here at Walton Stadium, Kennedy Field, and it's going to be a great setting. That setting's going to continue to get nicer as construction continues on the stadium. So an awful lot of positive momentum, and I know one thing, it's a great environment if folks will come out Saturday. If you haven't had the chance before, it's Blackout Saturday. We're asking everybody to wear your black. We share the color of red with Pitt State. We don't share the color black, so let's wear our black T-shirts. Mules will be wearing their black uniforms and have fun with it on Saturday.
Yeah, they'll be fired up about that, and it looks like the weather's going to break for us and have another great afternoon to play football.
We're going to spotlight senior cornerback Paul Hughes tonight. Great story. One of the guys who's been invested in this program for quite some time.
Yeah, and one of our captains, and yeah, love Paul. He's really committed himself to the program. He's been an outstanding player for us. He's done a great job in the classroom, and he's had some disadvantages that he's overcome in his life, so we're real proud of him.
All right, Bodo, let's talk about this league now. We hadn't had a chance to talk about this. It's changing again next year. Lincoln and Southwest Baptist are leaving the MIAA in football. They were allowed to leave in football, so it's going to be a full schedule. Of 12 teams, 11 games next year. The new schedule is out, and it's going to be a tough one because the league just got tougher, but at least everybody's going to play everybody. You know, it is tougher, but us playing a bunch of good teams while other teams aren't playing those good teams, and they're building false confidence, and when they play a good team, they get boat raced. Those days are going to be over. We're going to all line up and play each other.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. It certainly makes scheduling easier. You know, I think that you know, probably the negative is that you beat each other up, and just in terms of the playoff picture, and you know, there's more than likely going to be some good teams that are left at home.
You know, it's amazing. 12 teams next year in the MIAA. 8 of those 12 programs right now are winning programs. I'm not a math major, but that's not going to work.
I don't think it can.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think it can.
So, I mean, it's going to be survival of the fittest.
Yeah, a lot of long-standing good programs there, established programs, and, you know, the upside is, you know, those programs set the bench. You know that if you can rise to the top of this league, that you can win it all. And just like when I was at Northwest Missouri State, Pitt was still kicking butt back in those days in the 90s and early 2000s. We knew that if we could get to their level and beyond, that we could win a national championship, and we won 2.
It's going to be an arrogant statement, but we're proud to be MIAA members, proud of this league being the toughest in the country. I've watched it in the playoffs over the course of several years. We did it in the playoffs back in 2010. You play these teams that are highly ranked, but once you get out of the MIAA, you're not going to play anybody tougher than who you've already played.
I don't think so. You know, occasionally there'll be one from another region that's pretty salty, but the facts are the facts. You can go back about 20 years, and there's a lot of MIAA in there.
Well, Coach, thanks for the chat as always. We appreciate you coming by, and looking forward to Saturday, looking forward to taking on the Gorillas here in Warrensburg, and we'll talk to you next week here on the show.
Sounds good. Thanks, Sean.
Coming up next here on Sportspage, we'll shine the student-athlete spotlight on Mule's senior cornerback Paul Hughes from out of St. Louis. That's on the other side of this break right here on the Central Missouri Sportspage. And welcome back to Sportspage here on KMOS TV, Missouri PBS. In this segment, we shine the UCM student-athlete spotlight on Mule senior cornerback Paul Hughes.
This year's team has a lot more fight. You know, this team is prepared for everything. It's been through a lot of situations from last season, so this year is just a different mentality among both sides of the ball with just playing physical, finishing, just being fast on the field. This offseason has been one of the more spectacular off seasons we probably had as far as the weight room goes. We took a different approach in the spring with, the championship Friday type of thing where we work out 2 times in the morning and in the afternoon, and we just challenged ourselves tough in the weight room to get stronger and faster. Well, I just feel like I bring a real toughness, the mentality that I'm never gonna quit regardless of the situation. We were 6-4 last year, you know, but we didn't quit. We fought to the end. And this year, you know, we had a couple of rough games. You know, we lost a few at the end, but I just bring that toughness and that will to just keep pushing through the tough situations. Our team goal every year is, of course, win conference and, you know, make our run to a national championship. For us personal, you know, I just want to be a conference type of player, and I hope for an All-American honor if possible, and just want to help my team compete for the win every week. At a young age, I always played football on the streets of St. Louis, and you know, it was kind of tough for me being in a single-parent home, so I didn't get my first year of football until the 8th grade, and it was rough for a first-year player in equipment. It was different than playing out in the streets. But once my freshman year came, I had a lot of success, and I had a lot of great coaches just pushing me to, you know, get better and keep playing the game. I always loved the game, and you know, I went to a junior college, played some ball up there, transferred to UCM, and just kept moving on. I have an older brother. You know, he pretty much introduced me to the game, and you know, we were apart for a while once we both went off to college. But that's one person that, you know, through rough times, through good times, you know, he always criticized me and let me know things I could do to be a better player. So my major at UCM right now is broadcast media. My plans are to be a sports analyst after I'm completely done playing football. I love the game so much. I just love to go over the stats and go over matchups, so sports analyst is my goal. I have several superstitions about football. I just prepare the same way. I don't like to prepare any other way. I don't like switching it up. You know, I feel like I have to have like a new pair of gloves every game. My visor has to stay clean, and that's like my main superstitions. It's stuff to do with my helmet and my gloves, really. My relationship with my defense is pretty stronger than it's ever been because, like I said, this is my 3rd year. We've been together a while, and we're just so set on one goal, and that's just bringing that winning tradition back to UCM and getting back to some playoff type football. And so, like, our relationship is a pretty strong bond that we have among the defense. We have a great relationship with the offensive side too. At practice, we just want to push each other every day, and our goals on both sides of the ball, period, just to get better every week. That way the games are easy because we practice so hard. The coaching staff has been nothing but supportive of me as an individual since I've been here in the program. I had a couple of tough situations, and I just never had a group of people really back me up and really make me feel like complete family outside of football. Making the choice to choose red it was pretty tough. Like I said, I was coming from a junior college, but you know, I knew some guys who played here, and I knew it was some tough football. You know, I was going to think about playing at the D1 level, but I took my chances on just going D2 because I wanted to be a winner, so I chose red. To anyone interested in choosing red, I think that would be a very, very good choice. This is an institution with great staff in the classroom, as well as any sport that you're interested in, definitely football. You know, we're a family type of school. Everything that we do here is legit, and you know, we help build people's future. So choose red, it's a great choice.
The senior from Hazelwood East in St. Louis has 93 career tackles and 2 interceptions. And prior to the season, he was voted a captain by his teammates. This Saturday, Paul and the Mules will have a big challenge and a big opportunity as they face the 5-0 and 10th-ranked Pittsburgh State Gorillas at 1:30 p.m. at Walton Stadium, Kennedy Field. Coming up next on Sports Page, we'll take a look back at how Central Missouri's fall sports teams performed this past week, and we'll visit with Jenny's golf coach, Chris Port. All of that's on the way when Sports Page continues right after this. And once again, thanks for watching Sports Page here on KMOS TV. Coming up in just a moment, we'll visit with Jenny's golf coach, Chris Port. But first, let's take a look at how the Mules and Jennies performed this past week. And it's been another good week for UCM sports. The Jennies volleyball team remained undefeated on the season with 2 wins this past week. The Jennies defeated Central Oklahoma 3-0 last Friday night at Dr. Peggy Martin Court at the Multi. On Saturday afternoon, the Jennies hosted Pitt State, came away with a 3-1 win over the Gorillas. Julia Bates had 55 assists in the win. The senior from Leavenworth, Kansas, was named the MIAA Specialist of the Week. Sophomore hitter Carly Soika from Blue Springs South had 21 kills against Pitt State. She was named the MIAA Hitter of the Week. The Jennies are now 17-0. They are 6-0 in the MIAA. The Jennies remained at number 4 in the ABCA Division II Top 25 this week. The Jennies soccer team had a record-setting week of offense, cruising to 2 big wins. Friday, the Gens traveled to Bolivar to take on SBU. The Jennies tied the school record for goals, beating the Bearcats 8-1. Becky Lackey from Francis Howell North and St. Peter's had 2 goals and 2 assists in the win. On Sunday, the Jennies broke the school record for goals in a match, defeating East Central University 9-1. Freshman Hannah Pyle from St. Thomas Aquinas in Lenexa, Kansas, had the hat trick for the Jennies. She was also named the MIAA Player of the Week. The Jennies are now ranked 11th in Division II with a 7-1-2 overall record. They are 4-0-1 in the league. The 8th-ranked Mules golf team hosted and won the Heart of America Invitational, held Monday and Tuesday at Keth Memorial Golf Course at Pirtle Springs. The Mules finished first out of 20 teams, finishing 14 shots ahead of second-place Arkansas Tech. Junior Sam Migdal from St. Louis de Smet fired a final round 68 to finish in a 3-way tie for first. He was +1 for the 54-hole event. Max Lazo of Washburn won in a playoff. With the win, the Mules grabbed sole possession of first place in the MIAA. The Jennies golf team is in the midst of their 2nd season of competition. Last year, they became UCM's 17th intercollegiate sport. Joining us now to talk about his young team and program is Jennies golf coach Chris Port. Chris, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Sean. Good to be here.
Well, year 1 to year 2, how's the transition been?
It's been good. I mean, this year we are definitely a lot deeper. We've got some kids in here that can put some numbers up that are going to help us score better. It's our 2nd year. You know, our schedule's a little bit more set. We're picking up some better events for the kids to play in. So I'm really excited with where we're at after 3 events this fall.
The University of Central Missouri, obviously a great reputation, but it takes a while for the reputation, for the word to get out that Central Missouri's got a Jennies golf program and they're committed to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the last 2 summers I've been out on the road in the summer looking at kids in summer events. So the word's getting out, and we're starting, you know, those kids, they get on those websites and they look at the scores and they're starting to see it get better, so it's getting out.
The goal, I know, last year was just to learn how to operate as a intercollegiate program and really just to learn how to compete at this level. What are the goals you have for this team this year?
Well, I think this year the team goal is really we need to be finishing in the middle of the pack. Now, this fall, we've taken a very challenging schedule. We took 3 of our weaker events and replaced them with strong events, and so from a results standpoint, you're not maybe seeing us finish in the top half of a field, but you know, last year we had 3 rounds out of 17 where our score was under 350, and we're 6 rounds into the fall season, and we've got 5 rounds under 350 and a couple rounds already under 340. So we're competing at a much higher level.
Yeah, I'm noticing your scores are much better. The thing that I've noticed is you'll have a really good score. Maybe the next day, not a great score. Consistency seems to be the thing, maybe the next step right now.
Yeah, well, you know, like this week at Central Oklahoma, we shot 313 the first round. We had 3 scores in the 70s. We were 10th out of 17 teams down there. And then in the second round, we had the 2nd worst score of the day. And you know, when you've got kids that are playing better than they're used to, that second round is always going to be a little more difficult. So consistency will come, and I think when you have 3 freshmen in your top 5, consistency is always going to be a little up and down.
Yeah, I was looking at the numbers, the stats. 4 freshmen, 1 sophomore really have made up the lineup for a great deal of the season. So not only do you have players learning what it takes, you know, to take the Jennies program to the next level, you've just got players learning what it takes to play at the Division II level.
Yeah, I mean, Alexa Boatman's a good example this week. She shot 76 in the first round. She had it 2 under through about 9 holes. She was pretty nervous in that round, and it's the first time she's gotten it into the 70s in a college event. So next time it will be easier when she gets down there. But you got to get there a couple times before you feel comfortable at that spot.
And you know, it would be easy for you, Chris, and we've talked about this, to schedule smaller NAIA tournaments and let your team build false confidence, kind of like some of the schools in the league in football that don't play everybody, that throw up how great they've been, but really they lose to the good teams. you're putting your team up against the best competition out there in our region. So there's no false feelings. They know where they need to get to be where they want to be.
Yeah, well, that's my philosophy. I mean, the goal here is to qualify for regionals and go to national tournaments. And if your kids don't know where that bar's at, it's hard for them to visualize what they need. You know, at Central Oklahoma, there were 4 or 5 teams in the top 25, and I think 7 of the top 15 teams in the region. So they got to see what it looks like at that high level in this region. And
it allows you to take a group of players, as we mentioned, that right now have put some scores in the 70s. And point to a team or to a student athlete on a team and say, if you work hard in the winter, if you have a great season, you can be that type of player next year.
Yeah, I mean, the kids we're talking with, I mean, like I said, those kids all look. They know what you're shooting, so it's definitely good for them to start seeing us put some good results up.
You're looking at Jenny's golf practice footage from Keth Memorial Golf Course at Pirtle Springs on the UCM campus here in Warrensburg. Later on in this show, we're going to spotlight freshman Kelly Walker from Perryville. Boy, she's been consistent. She's been a really good player.
She's been, I knew coming in she was going to be pretty solid. She's probably playing at a little higher level already than I thought she would be at. Yeah,
as a freshman shooting in the 70s to really just around 80, it's pretty obvious she has the potential to be an outstanding four-year player for you.
Yeah, you know, I think if she keeps up what she's doing this year, she's going to have an opportunity to possibly get into the regional as an individual this year.
And that would be an exciting step for the program, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be a huge step.
And Alexa Boatman is another freshman. She's from out of Shiloh, Illinois. Fired a 76 in the first round Monday at the Central Oklahoma Classic. I know you had to be excited to see that.
I was. I mean, like I said, that first round at Central Oklahoma, Alexa shot a personal best, Miranda shot a personal best, Kayla shot 80, which tied her personal best, and I really kind of felt bad for her because she doubled her last hole. She had a chance to get it in the 70s. So, you know, the kids are just, they're getting it. I mean, they're working hard and they're figuring it out.
Kayla Temple, to me, as I look back in years gone by, I'll always remember her because she's the first. She was the first player to sign with your program. So she, to me, is kind of the benchmark for Jenny's golf of starting out in this program and being a solid player. And it's going to be interesting to see, you know, the next 2 years with her as just a sophomore now. But she embodies Jenny's golf to me because she was the first to say, hey, they haven't had a program, but I'm going to go to Central Missouri and play.
Yeah, and the thing I like about Kayla is, you know, I don't ever worry about her on the golf course because I know she's absolutely going to be out there grinding away. She's never going to let a round get away from her. She's just a gritty, tough player. And that's really what I want the other kids in the program to see.
A Zizzer from West Plains.
Yep.
So a Zizzer and a Jenny in her career. That's pretty good stuff. And as you mentioned, good opening round for her and Edmond firing that 80. But Miranda Smith, your freshman from St. Charles West, that's a great story. 89 was her low round. She fires a 79 on Monday at UCO. That's incredible.
Yeah, she actually, they don't have a high school girls team at her school, so she's played with the guys forever, so she's used to the length, but didn't probably have the summer background that a lot of the players coming in had, so she's really young in her development stage, so I'm super excited for that score.
We're jumping ahead a little bit. You know, you've got the end of the fall season, then the spring, and then the summer, but how important, as you're developing this program, is the summer play that these young ladies, you know, go out and compete on their own? How important is that going to be?
It's huge because you don't want them to backslide when they leave here in May and come back in August. It's important for them to stay playing competition at the length we play at. And, you know, I tell them all, go play in the best tournament you can get in. And if you get a middle of the pack finish, it's okay. You're getting used to playing with that competition.
It's a different feeling going to your home course, playing at a comfortable place with comfortable people around you, than it is to have that feeling in your gut or that heart rate up playing in real competition. You cannot do that just by going to the home course, but you can get the same feeling you get playing in a college match if you play in those bigger tournaments.
Yes, and you know, I mean, it's just a different setup. You know, you're traveling, you've got school to take care of on the road, we're up early, we're in the rooms late because of the day. It's a totally different feel for them, and it takes a while for those kids to kind of get used to the routine on the road.
Yeah, people, I think, probably have maybe a false idea of college golf and what it's like, especially at this level. It's long drives. It's 2 or 3, 4 to a room. It's getting back to the hotel at 9, 10 o'clock and getting up at 5, 5:30 and going out and playing all day and then getting in the van and driving back home. It's a grind.
It is a grind, and probably the thing that we'll make some adjustments after last year just because when we got to the end of last year, they were worn out. And we'll make a few adjustments on how we play people this year to give them a break here and there so that they don't get totally worn out by the end of the year.
Yeah, one thing about college golf, I think golf involves an incredible amount of athleticism anyway, in the swing and the balance and those sorts of things, the repetitive motion over and over. But the way that college golf is set up, it takes athleticism from an endurance standpoint.
Yeah, it's a long year. I mean, that's the thing that the kids don't expect. They come in from high school seasons that, like right now the state girls are, they started in August, they're done next week. We're a third of the way through our year. And when we go into the winter conditioning and the hitting, I mean, they don't let up. It goes all year.
You're also the pro at Keth Memorial Golf Course. Of course, now we have the Audrey J. Walton Clubhouse. How important for the development of your program is that driving range, that clubhouse where the team can gather, those practice facilities, and the course out there?
Well, the practice facility is phenomenal. Not a lot of schools are going to have that kind of a practice facility that they own. They may have access to a great practice facility, but it may be restricted to a couple days a week. Owning the own facility, the big part there is that we have access whenever we need access. We're not on a schedule of we have to be here a certain day between a certain time. So controlling the access is a huge selling point to the kids that we're trying to get in here, is that, if you wake up at 7 o'clock on Saturday morning and want to go to the golf course, just go on out. It's there for you.
And that beautiful clubhouse is great for your patrons out at the golf course. Great restaurant there and traditions, too, for the community. Also a great place for the golf team to be able to gather, hang out, and bond in between the round and practice and after class. It's a really neat deal.
Yeah, well, when you finish up your round at 7 o'clock, it's a lot easier to stop in there for dinner than drive back to the dorm.
Because they do take points.
That's right.
That's a great feature of traditions out at Keth Memorial Golf Course. Tommy Fatka and the crew do a super job with that restaurant. You're involved in that as well. You wear a lot of hats out there, in addition to being the Jenny's golf coach. Well, you're going to Panna, Illinois this weekend for the UMSL Triton Fall Invitational. I'm going to guess that's a pretty good field over there.
That's a new event for us. I kind of wanted to get us out of the region for at least one event this fall. You kind of get sick of seeing the same teams, and I think they'll have some of the Great Lakes schools in there. I think Indianapolis may be over there, so I expect it to be a pretty good field.
You close out the fall October 21st and 22nd. That's at the MIAA Preview in St. Charles. That could be a confidence-building event for your team, you hope?
MIAA Preview is going to be a difficult event. It's on a very good golf course. Obviously, you have all of the conference schools there. I know that probably the 4 or 5 best schools from the Northern Sun are coming down. There are going to be a couple other schools around, so it's going to be a deep field. And again, it's going to be another opportunity for us to go out and play with teams that are doing well in our league and in our region and see where we stand.
Fun to watch the Jenny's program develop just now in year 2. So let's talk MIAA first. Who are the teams you're looking at? Who are the teams you're emulating that you want to be able to beat here in the next couple, 2 or 3 years?
Central Oklahoma's good. I mean, they shot 297, 289 at their, it's their home course, but a 75 average is 300. So, that 289, they're down around 72, 73 for 4 scores. They just have a super solid program with a lot of tradition, and the big thing is they have good players. Northeastern State is also a good program. A couple of the other schools in the league are probably going to get there quickly. I think Lindenwood out of St. Louis is going to have a pretty solid program in another year or two. I think they were around 310 both days. So it's a tough league. And, when you throw in the rest of the region, there's just a ton of really good programs around.
A lot of pros from around Edmond, Oklahoma. That's a golf-rich area.
Yes, there are. And it's amazing how many of those kids that don't make it at a couple of the other big schools down there end up there.
No doubt about it. Well, you talked about the MIAA. We're in this central region. We've talked with Coach Poe at times about how the men's regionals are set up. How's the women's regional set up?
Similar deal. This year the regional is in Minneapolis. Concordia St. Paul's hosting. The difference is on the men's side they take more teams. On the women's side only 9 teams make it in, and then I think 3 individuals that aren't on one of those teams.
And top couple teams up north?
Augustana has traditionally been very good. Concordia is very strong this year. There's 3 or 4 teams up there that could compete in our league, no problem.
And the GAC, the Great American Conference, is in our region. I think Arkansas Tech maybe is a really good program.
Arkansas Tech, Southwest Oklahoma, Henderson State's ranked in the top 25. Tech's ranked in the top 25. Harding's pretty good. So, I mean, that's one of the reasons we've tried to go south a couple times this year is every event down there is going to be a strong field.
Well, Coach Port, it's fun to watch this program develop. Let's hope for a great finish to the fall, a great winter of development, and a super spring. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, Sean.
In just a moment here on Sportspage, we're going to shine the student athlete spotlight on Jenny's freshman golfer Kelly Welker. That's next here on KMOS TV.
I first started playing golf when I was 9 years old. My dad would take me out and we just hit about 100 yards out, and from there I just kind of developed and started hitting off the tee markers and got into competitive tournaments and then played in high school, and I've just loved it ever since. Really just mostly my dad was the one pushing me all along, making sure that I stayed grounded, and just really my dad was the one who was always pushing me and kept me focused and everything. Well, coming out of high school playing on the boys golf team, it was a lot easier for me because the length I played in high school is what I'm playing right now in college, so that was a big help in preparing me for right now. UCM had the major I was looking for, and the coach was really a big influence. I really like Chris. He's a great guy. Chris is a really great coach because he cares about our grades and not only what we do on the course but also like off the course, and makes the point to not only make golf so serious but also like makes it fun and all that. The team, I really like the team when I visited here. The girls are a lot of fun. We get along really well together. And I knew it was somewhere that I could play and that I could be a part of the team. And I mean, I just like hanging out with the team. They're a lot of fun. Like, we do everything together. We go watch movies, go eat. We've really become like a family this past month. But we get along really well, and I really enjoy playing with them and having them. Yeah, they've been really helpful in the transition to college, like telling us what it's like and really making sure that like we focus on school and like helping us better like adjust to the college transition and everything, and they've been really helpful in the process. Right now I'm thinking I want to do exercise science, and I want to be like a golf fitness trainer or maybe a golf coach. I'm really focusing on my drives because that's something I've been struggling with. I've been putting the ball really well and been striking the ball really well, but mostly just working on driver and getting consistent with that. The team this season has been doing really good. We've been working really hard in practice, and the second days of tournaments we've come back really strong and really improved our scores, so that's really good. I'd like to achieve a stroke average of 80 and hopefully make it to the national championships, but that'd be really awesome. I think as a team our goal is to just reach that 330 mark or 340 as a team, which we can definitely do. We have the skill and we have the ability, and it's just a matter of working out a few kinks, and yeah. Yeah, I'm a pretty superstitious player. I wear the same shoes every time and the same ponytail. This tournament I'm hoping to improve on my driving because last tournament it wasn't very good. It wasn't very consistent. So I'm hoping to hit more fairways, more greens, and hopefully make a few more birdies. I just want to thank my family for supporting me and for helping me get to this point in my life, and they've been a really big help and a really big support, and yeah.
The freshman from St. Vincent High School in Perryville leads the young Jennies with a stroke average of 80 with scores of 78 and 76 in competition through just 3 college events. The future is certainly bright for the young Jennies and their #1 player, freshman Kelly Welker. In just a moment, we'll tell you where all the Mules and Jennies are competing this weekend as Sportspage rolls on after this timeout. For one final time this week, welcome back to Sportspage. Before we put the finishing touches on this week's show, let's run down our upcoming schedule of events so you know where to follow the Mules and Jennies. And the Mules football team will face their third top 10 squad in 6 weeks this Saturday as they host the 10th-ranked Pittsburgh State Gorillas at Walton Stadium Kennedy Field in Warrensburg. Kickoff is set for 1:30 p.m. on Saturday from the UCM campus. It's the blackout game, so UCM fans are encouraged to wear black. UCM Spotlight will be giving away 500 free t-shirts to UCM students prior to the game. We'll have the broadcast on 1450 Cocoa, 98.5 The Bar, and via the internet at warrensburgradio.com beginning at 12:10. In other MIAA games on Saturday, Lincoln is at 15th-ranked Washburn. Central Oklahoma is at number 3-ranked Northwest Missouri. Fort Hays State is at Lindenwood. Northeastern State is at number 6 Missouri Western. Southwest Baptist is at number 23 Emporia State. In non-conference action, Missouri Southern is at South Dakota School of Mines, and Nebraska Kearney takes on Division I FCS Central Arkansas in Conway, Arkansas. The 11th-ranked Jenny soccer team hosts Rockhurst Tuesday night at 7 p.m. That's at the South Recreation Complex on DD Highway in Warrensburg. The 4th-ranked Jenny's volleyball team is in Joplin this weekend for the Missouri Southern Invitational Crossover. The Jennies will take on Arkansas Tech and Southwestern Oklahoma State on Friday. On Saturday, the Gens will face Harding. Next Friday, the Jennies will be in Maryville to take on Northwest Missouri State. The 8th-ranked Mules golf team has won 2 straight events, and they lead the MIAA standings heading into the final event of the fall next Monday and Tuesday at the Missouri Western Invitational in St. Joseph. The UCM cross-country teams return to action this weekend. The 15th-ranked Mules and the Jennies will be in Fayette for the Central Methodist Invitational on Saturday. And the Jennies golf team's in action Saturday and Sunday. They're at the UMSL Triton Fall Invitational. That's in Pana, Illinois. The 3rd-ranked Jennies bowling team gets their season underway this weekend in Wichita at the Newman Mid-States Classic. And it won't be long until we hear from our winter sports coaches here on Sportspage. Practices will get underway next week. Meet the Mules and Jennies basketball teams. Will be Tuesday night, October 29th at 7 at the Multi. That's only 2.5 weeks away. The Jennies basketball team is ranked 4th in the nation in the Women's Division II Bulletin preseason poll. Mules basketball will be defending their back-to-back MIAA titles. Mules wrestling is looking forward to taking the next step after a great showing at the conference tournament last season. And of course, the indoor track and field season should be outstanding as the Mules and Jennies compete for conference crowns and individual national championships. That's all coming up soon, in addition to an exciting final 6 to 8 weeks of the fall sports season here at UCM. After all, 5 UCM teams are currently in action, nationally ranked in the country. That's amazing consistency across the programs. And that's it for another edition of the Central Missouri Sports Page. We hope you enjoyed the show. Until next week, for our entire crew, this is Sean Jones saying thanks for watching the Central Missouri Sports Page here on KMOS TV, Missouri PBS.
Support for Sportspage is provided by Union Station, Crossroads to Technology, a one-stop shopping source for technology needs, campus-compatible computers, software for Mac and PCs, and much more. Located on campus on the lower floor of the Elliott Union in Warrensburg. Union Station, Crossroads to Technology. And promotional support for Sportspage is provided by 1450 Cocoa, 98.5 The Bar, and WarrensburgRadio.com. 1450 Cocoa, 98.5 The Bar, and WarrensburgRadio.com, the radio home of UCM Athletics.